Good afternoon, folks. Mike Wells, your World Explorer. Today is August the 28th, 2023, and it is a Monday. It's also 2 days before we're expecting a hurricane. It's supposed to be Hurricane Idalia, so I'm not sure it's going to affect us that much. We might get some wind and some outer bands that are going to affect us. We might get a whole bunch of rain, but other than that, not really affecting us in the way of like tremendous property damage. What we will get are a lot of down branches from the palms and the oaks, and it's probably going to tear up some of our gardens. So what I'm trying to do here is document the before and after. I've put a lot of work into this property for a long time, and right now it's really looking the best it ever has. Here's our Barbados cherry. Here's our Pinus elioti pines that are indigenous to this location. They're like a relic on the property now because they're indicative of our family and how many members are in the family right now. Here's some indigenous dwarf oaks. I have them at the base of many locations in this property of trees. Here are our beautiful pomegranates. We've got a bunch of what do you call these, edamame beans. They actually did pretty good this year. I think the location and the soil matters a lot. But aside from all that, here's our olive. This is the table olive. I have a feeling our beans and our gourds and our cucumbers are going to be affected heavily. But probably the avocado trees. I mean, they hate wind, so I can't imagine they're going to be too happy. So, yeah, going forward, you're going to see this right there. See a lot of those all over the ground. And it is just a bunch of additional work to have to pick up after. Here's our blueberry patch, which has kind of been neglected. But the yard looks really good right now. Here are some small oaks. These are the southern live oaks. Oh, down branch, the first down branch from that hurricane. You know, our passion fruit vines. Here's our Dioscorea. A lot of vines, those are probably going to get shredded. So I don't really know what to expect other than a bunch of, damage. Our poor mulberry trees, they're probably going to get beat up a little bit. Here's our Thai dwarf mulberries. They'll get beat up. Hopefully not too bad. If they do, maybe I'll trim them back and like try to clone them. These Thai dwarf mulberries threw a lot of shoots this summer, which is really good because I really wanted to propagate them heavily. Hopefully this winter they start to produce a bunch. I'm not really worried about the jackfruit. They're pretty hardy. They're gonna make it out just fine. Here's another mulberry. The apples, yeah, they're probably gonna suffer. The beautiful yard is gonna get loaded with branches and trees and leaves and detritus. But if you look over here, you can see I have a tarp covering a huge pit that is absolutely slap full of leaves and detritus. And then also what I like to do is come in here from time to time, take a 5-gallon bucket, which is our slop bucket, loaded with organic material from the kitchen that is stuff that does not get eaten. I'll pull back the top part of this, shove that stuff in there, and then recover it. And over time, this whole patch here, this whole pit is breaking down pretty well, and then I'll use it for some of my gardening beds and whatnot. Here are a bunch of our cashew apple trees. They're gonna take a beating. They look so good right now. You know, living in Florida, there's rarely ever a year where you don't get some absolutely nasty weather. So you really take a chance when you live in Florida, especially if you're a farmer. Farmers, they get absolutely decimated after storms. I mean, if you think about it. Here are the sweet potatoes. They're not really going to take that much of a beating. Yeah, the leaves will, but they'll just grow back absolutely rapaciously quick. Yeah, so I'm going to add to this pile. Hopefully things don't get bad, but if they do, well, you're going to see exactly how bad they get. The house roof probably won't go anywhere. We have a few storm shutters. I'm not really worried about the wind because this is going to be a low wind situation on this side of Florida. Now the west coast, that'll be a totally different story. Here's a window unit I will cover up at some point if I need to. The pool deck, the screens, they may suffer some damage. Now we can look up into the sky. We pretty much just see some clouds moving around. Now these are part of the storm. You look out front, that'll give us the best view of what the actual weather is doing at this time, at this location. But as the storm approaches, this weather will deteriorate more rapidly. When we get the bands from a storm, they move in quickly, and those are pretty scary because the winds can go from very light to extremely brutal in a very short period of time. I'm talking like seconds. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.